Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the woke test. This is just another test I found online, so let's do it. There's not much more I have to say. Okay, question 1 of 32. We are all citizens of the world and should be allowed to live where we want to create a more just and equitable world. As long as you legally immigrate, yes, sure. I'm going to try to do more soft agrees than like hard agrees or disagrees because I think that's more in good faith. People of colour are oppressed by white beauty standards in our society. No, not really anymore. Next. Since women comprise half of the world's population, it is only natural that women should possess half of the world's wealth. I think things naturally end up that way even if the government doesn't just get involved, so yeah, sure. Next, climate change and white supremacy are two sides of the same coin. No, I wouldn't say so, soft disagree. Next, I champion those who are pushed to the margins so that they may have an equal place at the table. No, not really. I don't like affirmative action if that's what this question's about. Question 6. Assuming that all women have vaginas is just another way perpetuating oppressive stereotypes. No, some people would say it's a legitimate concern, but there's also some people that would say gender is a social construct, so it's like, yeah, you have to know if the person's just referring to gender or sex, so I'll go neutral here. So-called free markets are inherently coded to favour white men. No, not anymore really. Next. I believe that given the same socioeconomic conditions, all groups of people would have the same average IQ. No, but actually soft disagree on that. Using brain imaging or genomic sequencing to legitimize race or gender stereotypes can never be scientifically justified. So is this a eugenics question? If it's eugenics, I'll go soft agree, but I'm not sure if I understand this question. But next. I'm not going to spend too long on each question. I want to get through this at a reasonable pace. Question 10. Science views the universe as a matter to be used in much the same way as white men view women and minorities as objects to be exploited. No, because the second one's more of like a social construct and the first one is just how the universe is really. So next, I'll only do hard agrees on probably 5 of the questions at max. On agree or disagree. Question 11. The climate has always been changing. What we are going through now is just another natural cycle. Climate change is a thing, but I will say the climate is always changing too, so I'll stay neutral there. Next, no human being can be free until every human being is free. No, I disagree with that. An early hard agree, but I'll still go soft agree. Sorry, disagree. Next, question 13. We have the most to learn from the people who are most oppressed. I'd soft agree with that actually, because there's always people in the world who have it harder than you. Next, question 14. Hierarchies are necessary to maintain order and prevent anarchy. Yes, I would agree with that. Next, pointing out that other cultures don't have gay or trans rights is just another way of perpetuating the oppressive status quo. Let me think about this actually. No, because in other culture, because the person who's saying it doesn't necessarily have the viewpoint that they're against or for trans rights. So yes, I would disagree with that. I just needed to understand the question because that's a bit of a harder question to understand. Next, there are only two genders. That's for society to decide. Next, because if you said that like 100 years ago, that would have been like everyone agree, but now it depends who you ask, really. Like if I'm fine with genders being a social construct. I support the LGBT community, but there's still some ambiguity in the world, like whether you like it or not. So next question, question 17. We should welcome those who want to come here if we want to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Welcoming immigration policy is a moral imperative, as all nations have a responsibility to protect those seeking refuge and opportunity. It should be like a try to thing, not like you have to thing, but to a certain extent I would agree with that, yes. Next. The conception that a real man is tough and daring should be replaced by the conception that a real man is caring and compassionate. The first part isn't really bad, really, but the second part isn't really bad either, so it's like neutral as well. Like, I'd be fine if a society did change its viewpoint like that, but I'll still go neutral here. Next. Question 20. In general, all indigenous ways of knowing are married. In general, all indigenous ways of knowing are marred by subjectivity and bias, lacking objectivity and evidence. Yes, I would agree with that. Next, question 21. I believe that other cultures and minorities may have ways of looking at physics and mathematics that are just as valid as the Western way. As long as it's correct. I'm not aware of any of this, but as long as it's like correct, then yeah, sure, I guess. Next, in this day and age, the patriarchy is largely a myth. If anything, we live in a matriarchy, so strong agree on that. Yeah, in society we're very much pushing a matriarchy. Like, I could go soft agree depending on the day, but I'll actually go strong agree here. Next, in a conflict, one should always amplify the voices of the marginalised so that they have equal representation. No, I'm against some sort of affirmative action. There was some referendum in Australia last year where Indigenous people got to get represented in Parliament unfairly, and thankfully it was rejected. Because I think most people just seen that and just said, yeah, no, they should be just as represented as everyone else. So, assuming that questions about in a conflict, one should always amplify the voices. They should have equal representation for how big their population is, so they kind of get the amount of representation that they deserve as long as like people give them a voice. So I'll still say sort of disagree, but I guess it could depend on the context. Next, traditional gender roles are largely determined by natural evolution and or a higher power. No, it's very much a social construct. Next. Question 25. If you let unproductive people think they're special, you're giving them an incentive not to improve. Strong agree. Next. Question 26. Not a day goes by without me thinking how I can fight for a more just and equitable society. Not really. I'm not that much of a social justice warrior. Next, question 27. I believe that unless something is done, the climate crisis could be completely out of control in 5 years. Disagree. Climate change is real, but I will say that some people vastly over-exaggerate it. Next, I have considered not having children out of concerns for the climate. I've made a personal choice not to have children, but it's not because of the environment, so I'll disagree. Anybody who is not a white male is in some sense oppressed in our society. Strongly disagree. Next, as society as a whole gets more wealthy, wealth will eventually trickle down from the rich to the poor, even a capitalist economy. If there's no monopolies, then yes, I would soft agree to that. Next, question 31. Lax immigration controls undermine our nation's national security and put a strain on our resources. I would very much agree with that. And final question 32. Women and minorities cannot truly be themselves while they live in a society run by white men. I will also disagree with this question. Okay, let's finish. Am I woke? I am slightly non-woke, okay. This is my results, and I think that's about it, really. You can read all this, but I'm not going to read it all out for you. You can just pause it if you want to read it. Okay, and I think that's about it, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.